What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're gonna be testing out some new makeup. I got some new drugstore and high-end makeup. So from the drugstore, I got this LA Girl brow pen and I'm excited to try this out. The only bad thing I will say about this is it has like 2 shades that you could pick from off of Ulta, and that was it. But this is what it looks like. So on one end, you got the really fine tip, and then on the other, they did give you a spoilie, so that is really nice. I got mine in the shade dark brown. They had dark brown and they had black, so only 2 options, so that was terrible. But I think this was only like $6.99 if I'm not mistaken. So it is really cheap for a brow pen, so I'm excited to try that one out. You already know NYX is my favorite one. I tried the Maybelline, but I'm not in love with the color, so I do want to get a different color in that one and try it again, because it did give you really nice brow hairs, but I just didn't love the color. I also picked up this Natasha Denona Retro Glam Palette. Now this is not a new product, but this is new to me. I just thought that this was a really pretty palette for springtime, so that's why I wanted to pick it up. I also went ahead and picked up the One Size Secure the Glow Primer. I've already used this one time and I loved it the first time I used it, so I'm excited to use it again. And then of course, I've already tried these 2 products, but these are new to me as well. I used these a couple times, so these are still pretty new to me and I've been loving them. Of course, I got Patrick Ta's new blush. I love it, you already know. This is not a new product, but it's new to me. This is the Givenchy powder and it is so good. And then I also got out my Fenty concealer. This is a new product, but I've used her a ton and absolutely love her. I'm just gonna go ahead and start with the brows. I'm just going to spoilie through them a little bit, and you know how I do. I like to just go super crazy, just filling in all the sparse areas, trying to go within the direction of my brow hair. This color might be a little too dark. The Maybelline is like too light. This one's too dark. That's why I've been loving the NYX one. I feel like the color is just so good. But okay, I do like the fine strokes with this pen. This is working exactly like the Maybelline and the NYX brow pen. I'm just going to take a makeup wipe and clean them up. So now I'm just going to take this Oma Beauty and line the bottom. I just feel like using this just helps to even out that bottom and just help clean it up a little. Again, they only have the 2 color options. So if you don't have really dark brows, this is not going to be a great product for you. I do like the brow hairs that it gave me. I think that the stroke of the pen is really nice. It was easy to work with. So if you do have darker eyebrows, this would be a good brow pen. Okay, so moving on, I'm going to prime the lid. I'm going to use this one from Bella Pierre. I just really like the consistency of this. I like the color of this primer. I like primers that give you coverage. The star of the show, the eyeshadow palette. I'm super excited to try out this palette. Okay, so I'm just grabbing a fluffy brush and I'm going to go into this shade right here, and I'm just going to start working that in the crease and up to the brow. The shade is called Lucy. I love the greens in here. I just think that they're so pretty. I just really like that they're more softer greens in here. They're more of your sage tones. This color is blending out beautifully. Natasha Denona has some great formula. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this shade right here. And this shade is called Oscar. And I'm going to put that on like the front part of the lid. I think I want to try to keep like this front part pretty light. But this shimmer is beautiful. Super smooth on the lid. I love. So pretty. Switching brushes, I'm going to go into this shade here. This shade is called Oz, and I'm going to start putting that on the outer corner just to add in a little bit of that green shade. I absolutely love this shade of green. Just focusing it on the outer corner, blending it into that lighter shade. I love that. That looks so pretty. Super light. It looks fresh. It has a little bit of color to it, but nothing like too overwhelming. Now I'm just going back in with the first brush with a little bit of that Lucy shade, and I'm just going to start blending out that green just like this. I mean, oh, So pretty. I'm just gonna go back in with that green shade a little, just keeping that on the outer corner. I like that. Switching brushes, I'm going into this shade here. This shade is called Flutter, and I'm going to use that on the brow bone. This shade's really pretty. It's got a really pretty sparkle to it. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and clean up with a makeup wipe, and I'm just going to make sure I sharpen up this edge. I'm going to go ahead and apply some lashes, but while I'm waiting on the glue to dry, I'm just going to go ahead and use a little bit of my Mirabella serum. I love to use a serum and a moisturizer right before makeup. I feel like my foundation and everything just sits so much better on my skin when it's nice and hydrated. Also going to use the P. Louise Repair from 2022. This moisturizer is super thin, so it works really well underneath of makeup. So I think I'm going to switch it up a little bit today. I'm going to use the Essence Black Eyeliner, and I'm just going to tightline the top of my lash, which is really hard for me to do because if you know me, you know I close my eye to do this, so it's hard for me to like leave it open and tightline it. It's so weird. I want to use a different one on the bottom. So, okay, I think I got it. But for the bottom, I want to use this Essence one, and this is in the shade Silky Nude. I've used white, but never like this nude color. So I thought maybe we'll switch it up. I don't know. I might end up going back in and switching it to black, but we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and coat my lashes with a little bit of this e.l.f. Lash and Roll Mascara, especially the front part of the lash because I'm only using half lashes today. Now I'm just going to apply the half lash. I'm still not sure if I'm liking that nude eyeliner in the waterline. We'll see after I get complexion done, but I am going to go ahead and go in with the new One Size Secure the Glow Primer. I just used 2 pumps of that primer. I really like this primer. I think it's very hydrating. It is a tacky primer. I watched some reviews and people were saying that it's not tacky, but I feel like mine is pretty tacky. I mean, it's not gonna be like e.l.f. Power Grip. It's not that tacky, but it is a kind of sticky primer. For foundation today, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. This is the hydrating one. I really do like this. It gives your skin a nice glow. It also does really give you a good coverage, which I love coverage in a foundation. I have a lot of redness in my face, so I love to cover up all my redness. If you have very dry skin, this one will be great for you, especially if you need something that has coverage. For bronzer, I'm going in with this one from Milani. This is newer. This is their Cheek Kiss Cream Bronzer in the shade Hey Honey. Just going to dip my brush directly in. And I did just clean out my brushes, so it's been super nice to have clean brushes for everything today. I feel like cleaning my brushes is torture. It takes forever sometimes. But I do love this bronzer so much. I think that it is a great bronzer at a great price. It melts into the skin so nicely. And I'm just going to go around all of the edges with my sponge. So cream blush, you already know. I've used this in a ton of videos. I love this one from Patrick Ta. I think it's so good. This is in the shade Not Too Much, and it is just gorgeous on the skin. It's just the right amount of pigment. It's just the right color. I mean, it is just a beautiful blush. I absolutely love this blush. You already know Fenty Beauty Concealer. I love this concealer so much. Mine is in the shade 185C. And I like to blend it down into the top of that blush just because it makes everything look very seamless. Same thing for this side, just blending it down. I love how the skin is looking. I think it's looking really pretty right now. For powder, we're using the Givenchy. This is the shade 3. This powder is very smoothing on the under eye. It is so beautiful. So I'm just going to pick a little bit up and set the under eye. And really with this powder, you can't overuse it. Like even if I use a lot of it, which you don't have to use a lot of this powder, like a little bit goes a long way. But even if you use a lot, like it never gives me that crepey under eye ever. I mean, you can just see where it just evens everything out. It blurs everything. It makes my under eye look super smooth. So I love that. It really is just a gorgeous powder. I am just going to pick a little bit up on a brush and set the rest of the face. For powder bronzer, I'm going in with the L'Oreal Infallible. Now, this is not a new product, but it is new to me. I feel like a little of this goes a long way as well. I got mine in the shade Light Medium. So she definitely has a lot of pigment to her. Beautiful though. Again, this bronzer is so affordable as well. And I'm just trying to lightly go in with the bronzer. Sometimes I go in a little heavy-handed. Now just going into Patrick Ta and picking up a little bit of that powdered blush. And I mean, she's so blurring, so pretty. I love this shade. For highlighter, I'm going to use this one from Maybelline. This is the Master Holographic. This one is super pretty. I think it makes your skin look like glass. I mean, it's so pretty. I love that. It has like a little pink shift to it, so I think it's just gorgeous. For lips, I'm going to use this lip liner from J-Cat Beauty. This one's in the shade Rosewood. And I'm just going to take a little bit of my concealer, tap it in the center. Now going in with a little bit of this e.l.f. lip liner. I'm going to go in with a little bit of brow gel from Oma Beauty. Now I'm just going to finish off the eyes going into this shade. Using that for the inner corner. Now I'm going to go in with this shade here, which is the Oz shade. And I'm going to use that to buff out the lower lash line. So now I'm just going to finish off the lower lash line with a little bit of this e.l.f. Lash and Roll. And now I'm going to finish the look off with a little bit of Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. Okay, you guys, so this is the completed look. I absolutely love how it turned out. This Natasha Denona palette is the perfect spring palette in my opinion. I love how this turned out. I really do love that like nude eyeliner as well. I think it looks nice, bright, and it's still keeping it like light, fresh, and a nice spring feel to this look. So that's what I really like about it. I like the lightness to it. I love this new primer. I think this is a good primer, especially if you have dry skin. This actually feels kind of like a skincare product and like a nice little tacky primer all in one. So I'm glad I did decide to pick that up. Again, the brow pen, I do like it. I think it might be a little dark, but I don't know. Now that I've gotten the rest of my makeup done, I feel like, is it too dark or does it match pretty well? It might actually match pretty well. I don't know. You let me know what you think down in the comments because I love to hear from you. But as always, thank you so much for hanging out with me and trying out some new makeup, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.